you were anticipating a lot of different reactions for the pick that you were going to make. You knew that the media would react the way they did.
Honestly, I don't do it for reactions of anybody. You know, like I don't know. I shouldn't say this, but I don't care. You know, like we're in a business where, you know, like I can't react to anything. You know, like I just have to maybe do my job. You know, like and you hope that the best comes out of it. You know, like yeah, is it a gamble? Yes. You know, like but. I was asking, so do we remember who the 20th picks of, you know, like the last 10 drafts are? You know, we can't say yes or no, but we have to. We try to get a certain player early, you know, and it was difficult to trade in. And I thought, you know, like in the end, it's going to be difficult for me to trade in again. Before 37 because we were looking at him at 37 and it's just going to be too difficult to get in knowing, you know, like there were some teams behind us maybe looking at him. So hey, we decided to go with it and pick him at 20.
So in this day of social media and access to the internet and all those things, how is it possible, do you think, that barely anybody knew about this kid? It seemed when he was drafted, the entire basketball world was kind of, who? Like asking that question.
Yeah, I think people knew about him a little bit, you know, like, but he's in Brazil, you know, like not playing much for a club, you know, like playing a couple minutes a game, you know, like it's an outright gamble, you know, like, and hey, I think many teams were on it, you know, like just we felt like he was somebody we needed to follow. Our scouts did a phenomenal job of going and seeing him and, you know, staying there and gathering information maybe. And we thought, you know, from the little information we have, he's young, he's long, he's tall, he's skinny, he likes to play basketball, he's got a little bit of skill, he can shoot a little bit. Maybe there's something we can mold there, yeah. I know they said it on TV that he's 2 years from being 2 years away, but I think he's 5 years from being 5 years away. But you know what? The Raptors will take it, you know, like we'll take whatever it is, we'll take it.
Why do you think it's a gamble? I mean, there's not that many guys 6'7", 6'8" with his, I mean, from what I saw, he's got pretty good tools.
Yeah, there's no when you scout, you know, like there's no data, you know, like in terms of his playing experience, you know, and that's why it's a gamble with an 18-year-old kid, you know. A lot of these kids have played in college, they've played in Europe, they're playing, they have experience, you know, like in some kind of way, but with this kid, there's barely any of that, you know, like, and that's why I say, you know, the honest truth is it is, you know, like, but hey, we're not afraid, you know, like we'll go do it.
But if you were to take what you saw and he was a graduating high school senior this year, is it conceivable he wouldn't be on? Like, how does a guy like that? He wouldn't be a secret if he was playing in the U.S. right now.
No, he wouldn't. You know, like that's just that alone, you know, like you take that alone and we all get intrigued, you know, like with what we do, but he didn't, you know, like that's the thing, you know, we can say if he did that, but he didn't, you know, like he was in Brazil playing very little minutes for a club, and a couple times he played a few minutes, we were lucky, we had a couple guys there, and you know what, we said we were comfortable to do it.
With no real baseline, where do you see his game evolving? What kind of player do you envision him being?
I think in the end, I think he looks like he'll be a solid defender because of his length. You know, like he moves his feet pretty good. So with that length, maybe he's a good defender. He's got a touch. He likes to shoot it. So yeah, if he can be some kind of a two-way player where he he can shoot the ball a little bit and he can defend, or if he becomes a defender, you know, like hey, that's I know there are comparisons to all kinds of people, you know, like and players, but I don't know, you know, like we picked him because we feel, you know, there's some good upside there. We'll develop him. It will take time, and we're ready to be patient with him.
As a practical matter, like in his rookie season, he's going to be a 19-year-old who doesn't speak much English, and no matter how hard he tries, that's going to be a transition. What sort of things can you guys do, especially if he's not playing very much, to keep him engaged and to help that transition?
Well, sending him down to the D-League, you know, like sending somebody with him, you know, like getting weight training, you know, personally for him, you know, like an English teacher, like it was done with Jonas, you know, all that stuff is going to be put in place tomorrow, you know, like I think he's leaving tomorrow to fly to LA to go work out with Demar and Terrence and Amir and those guys and DeAndre. That's the start, you know. Like that will get him a couple more words of English. That will get him I guarantee you that. I know. That will get him, you know, like some more competition. That will get him knowing his teammates and their personalities, you know, like. And then there's Summer League. That's going to be another growing experience for him because it's going to be tough for him. You know, like he's playing against guys that are trying to make the NBA. It's going to be another learning experience. And then after that, whether it's Gerg's camp or whatever we're doing with our other younger players, he's going to have a grueling summer. He'll go back maybe to Brazil for a couple weeks break, you know, like in August sometime. But the summer is going to be. He's going to start learning. Starting today, he came in to work out. I think he worked out yesterday in the evening. He's a basketball junkie, you know, like, so those guys usually, you know, like figure out a way.
So have you ever seen him compete against like an actual body apart from a little bit of the club basketball you saw him play, like in a workout? Have you seen him go 3-on-3, 2-on-2 against quality players?
Yes, but I think seeing him play, we saw him play in games, you know, like so it's for me it's we pick players to play in basketball games, you know, like the workouts are nothing to us, really. There are some players I know in this draft that killed in workouts. It was rumored they killed and they got picked late, you know. So it's the games, you know, a little bit, and that's why I say it's a gamble because we don't even have. We were very lucky. We had a couple guys there where there were a couple games he played lots of minutes because one of the players playing on their team got hurt and he got that chance. So we were lucky there. But
did you have tapes of those games? Were you able to did you have were you taping them on a phone or anything like that?
A couple we had on our phone a little bit, but other than that, it was the sample size was small.
Have you spoken able to draft him without those games where he did step in and play more? Like, would you have had enough information?
It would have been tough. I tell you what, Patrick, Curtis, Dan, everybody saw him, you know, like everybody went and Jeff, we all did, you know, like, so it was, whether it was practicing or playing in a game. I remember, I think Patrick went to a tournament in December, a junior tournament where he actually played 3 or 4 games. And played a lot, so that's good. That was good insight for us. So,
sorry.
Go ahead.
What can you tell us about his personality, just in the limited time you've been able to?
He's a little shy until he gets, you know, like he gets used to what's going on, and then he's very open, and he's a gym rat and he's competitive. You know, like he won't if he doesn't do a drill well, he'll want to finish it. You know, like that's him. You know, like, and he's a great kid, like but loves basketball. You know, like he wants to be in the gym every second. You know, like which is what you want in an 18-year-old.
What was his upbringing like? From what you learned, you went to visit him, probably met his family, his parents. What do they do? What's the background there? How did he grow up, basically?
He grew up tough, I think, in Sao Paulo, and I don't want to say too much about, you know, like his family and some of the things we know, but he grew up in a not so great environment, you know, but great kid, and think his sister played professional volleyball, so he understands a little bit, and just basketball was his love, you know. So.
Were you ultra conscious of, you know, that the word used was stealth when you were down there? Were you ultra conscious of that? Like, I mean, I know when you're scouting anybody, you don't want to give away what you're doing or who you're looking at, but did this go to another level?
Yeah, I think with this kind of a guy, you know, like we're all, you know, like in our heads, we all think that we're finding a guy, you know, like that's every GM, every scout, everybody, you know, like in the business, you all think, oh wow, you know, like, and then you find out, okay, maybe not, you know, like, but we just kept thinking, okay, you know, like we'll just do our work, and if it works out, it works out, you know, like, and we paid attention to it. We definitely gave it we gave it good attention.
How did you first hear about him? When did you first hear about him?
He was the MVP of Basketball Without Borders, and when we started compiling our lists in the summer, I think Dan and Jeff and all these guys did a great job with getting all the names, and then we got a few calls from contacts over there, and we have, and they told us it's something that we have to go check out, and so we sent Patrick and Curtis to go check it out first, and they went and they came back and said, you know what, it's definitely worth going to see for you. So I went there a few times.
You mentioned scouts and GMs all thinking that, you know, they found the guy. The first time you saw Bruno in person, what were your initial reactions, or maybe was there a moment that wowed you?
No, you know, you follow up, you know, like you ask questions. We all ask questions, and I had all the questions in the world, you know, like both for myself and for the scouts, you know, like, and it's not easy, you know, like you just tell yourself, you know, like we're in a team, we're dealing with a lot of things here. You're working with your team and trying to get your team going here, and then you're saying, okay, your guys are telling you have to jump on a plane and go watch this game because it's a game that, oh, this player has gotten hurt and he might play. You have to go there. So those are where, you know, like maybe it's a gamble in some kind of way. So I don't know if there was any moment. We just continued the process, and this is where it brought us.
You mentioned sending him to the D-League. Is that the plan right now, or what are the chances he's in the NBA next year and playing meaningful minutes?
Well, he's going to be on our team. Yeah, he's going to be on our team for sure. But I'm sure there are times when he'll go down for periods to play, and I think that part will be figured out by our guys. They'll figure out the parts of the schedule when we need him there, or parts where he can practice with the actual team, depending on our schedule.
Have you spoken to DeMar or any of the players, and if so, what was their reaction to the pick?
I haven't spoken to them yet. There's so much going on right now, but I'm sure I'll speak to them in the next couple of days.
Everyone knows that he's going to obviously need development time, Bruno, but is there a skill of his that you think is maybe the closest to being NBA ready?
You know, he can disrupt a little bit, you know, like with length, you know, like that's because he's so long, he can maybe disrupt a little bit, but that body strength is not there, you know, and he can shoot it, but you know, like shooting in an NBA game is different, you know, like he's 18, you know, like, and he'll need to develop and get stronger and do all those things. So you can look and say, yeah, there's a couple NBA skills, but I don't know if you can throw him when you can throw him in a game.
A decade ago, drafting an 18-year-old was basically the norm. How different was this process than taking a kid out of high school?
It's almost the same, but I think the difference is we're not doing it at 2 or 3 or 5, you know, like, or in the lottery, it's the 20th pick of the draft, and it was actually going to be the 37th pick of the draft, but we just didn't feel confident enough to leave it to that. So we did it earlier.
The Raptors have a player who went through this. The last guy taken as an 18-year-old, Namir Johnson. Is that a good model to look at for how long it takes an 18-year-old to get up to speed?
You know, like this is not something we want to give up on. You know, like I think Amir went to a couple teams. I think he might have been traded to Milwaukee before here. No, we want to go through the process, and we're not going to be short-sighted here. We have to look for the future, and I have to look out for the organization and see what we can get with players like this in terms of value and growth and development. So, yeah, 18-year-olds were the thing back in the day. Maybe we'll bring the trend back or something.
Coming off of a winning season, does that sort of give you the luxury to be patient with a player like this and take the risk, as you said? Or is this a player with the ability that's sort of worth taking a chance on regardless of your situation?
Yeah, we felt that. I've always felt, you know, like at 15, are we a championship team yet? No, you know, like, and so at 15, 14, those kind of guys, you know, like, he's the guy, you know, like, and why can't we, with all the coaches we have, I think with Jesse and Jama and Bain, these guys are great development coaches, and they've done an unbelievable job with Terrence and Jonas and Patrick Patterson and all our guys in developing, you know, like, hey, why not throw them another one, you know, like that it should be working anyway, so let them try and develop this one, you know.
Is his wingspan 7'7", like the report suggests?
I think it's about 7'6". His wingspan 7'6", 3/4, I think, 7'6" and a half or something. I don't know, but it's just a little bit more than 7'6", I think.